Brian, how are you?
I'm good, Dora. How are you?
I'm good.
Nini unakuja na fujo leo? What's up?
Just tell them why I'm excited.
Why are you excited? Because today is International Women's Day.
Thank you. I was just waiting for you to say it, and it will be very criminal of you. Criminal.
No, guys.
Very criminal of you.
Me always say
not to appreciate women in this company.
Okay.
In fact, we want to target them by name. All the women in this company. Are we together women in AFarmersMedia? Sindio? Yes, he has to target all of us. Unless there's one you don't appreciate. Can we start from there?
I equally do appreciate everybody's job. And
start with the women inside here. I will appreciate the men when your day comes. I will mention all of them. Yes. I will mention all of them. Or do you want me to start mentioning the men? And telling them, thank you for supporting us women.
Not on
our day.
Not on a day like today. Or actually, you can do it later.
Okay.
Nikeni Mamaliza.
Okay.
So we start with you, Dora.
Ow.
Of course. Who is...
thank you.
Thank you for what? I think so much. I wouldn't say anything in specific.
No, usifanye guesswork maze. Kama itoki kwa hatu, wachane tumewacha kutusumbua.
Hey, you ambushed me.
No. No, kama una kitu inatoka kwa hati ya kuambia mademo hii kampuni, unajua hakuna haja utupake matope.
Ladies demand so much, but again, it's always good to be on your side, to push for what you believe in. Your sisters, your mothers, your
wives.
Mbona umepush hapo?
Him sana my friend.
Of course, Dora right there. We also going to the back room where we have Lista. We have also Mercy. They do such a good job. They are here even way before me.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting.
Among the few hard-working women in this country.
Well, okay, it's you who said that just a few ladies are working hard in this country. But again, I want to go to our very own Diana Mudega. She also does such a good job. We also want to give thanks to Mrs. Mary Modama, who is also the co-founder of this place. And I will also want to give special thanks to the person who gives us the magic words each and every 1:20 p.m. It's called Yvonne Bigger from where he's listening.
Magic words is LU. No. It's actually FOOD.
Yeah.
Generally.
Food is ready.
Yes.
Oh man, I always feel as if there's a funny show at your time. So, and I also want to give thanks to Rose, who has guided us all through this journey also, doing such a good job. And the ladies, every lady around here is well appreciated.
And even outside there.
Yeah, of course. Every lady is watching us right now. I would say today is a day, so enjoy it. But then, okay, ladies, surely.
What is it?
How many days are your days? Valentine inakuwa yenu, Women's Day inakuwa yenu.
Yes.
So unataka Mother's Day ni yenu.
Sasa unataka kuwa mothers.
No.
Let's continue.
Valentine should be easy for everyone. Lakini I don't know, somehow ilitengenezwa kwa ya madem.
Hakuna mahali imeandikwa kwamba ni ya madem. It's just a thought that you have.
We've seen
nowadays it's us who buy flowers. Who take you guys out, who buy gifts.
There was a friend of mine.
You guys are just too hard on us and on yourselves. Ikifika hiyo tarehe at you must go for a men's conference,
But when the calling comes, you just have to receive the calling and go. Invitations.
So you just follow the wind.
It's rare that we guys meet, but if we find it well that we are all free on 14th of February, shida iko wapi?
I think we need to have this discussion. One of these fine days on farm drive, we'll not be talking about farming. We'll be talking about...
Be driving people crazy. Let's go straight to the conversation today.
Welcome to Farm Drive at AFarmersMedia, where we connect, learn and grow.
Absolutely.
I am Dora Manyan. I kitu nafanya na kohoa.
No.
Sanitizer.
Oh, sanitizer. Okay. I didn't notice that.
So introduce show vizuri.
Okay, so welcome to Drive Show, Farm Drive, where we get to talk about value addition, storage, and everything that comes with it. And of course, you're with me, Brian Mwenda, and my host, who is Dora Manya. welcome to the conversation again and again.
Thank you. Always have a pleasure having you on board.
Yes.
It's important for the guys watching us and listening in to know that they can connect with us on social media.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very important. You can follow us on YouTube. Not just follow us, actually subscribe to our YouTube channel, AFarmersMedia.
Yes.
You get notifications every time we are live. Like now, ukienda and come and subscribe, you must have got a notification that we are live. On Instagram, pia tutafute at AFarmers.
Yes.
Na Z.
Yes.
On Facebook.
AFarmersMedia.
And Africa Farmers
Simply
Club.
Africa Farmers Club too.
But also you can follow us on Twitter at @farmers_. Follow our Twitter handle, get to know more. There's so much more that we are just putting across there.
Yes.
So that you're able to know what is happening here at AFarmers. And
Absolutely.
follow our individual Twitter handles at Dora Manya.
At Brian Wonder.
Yes.
Everywhere. Yes.
Later on, we'll be giving you a call line so you can be able to call in and join the conversation
Yes.
that today we have, and it's a wonderful conversation. We've been talking about food. Food is important, Brian.
Yes.
And therefore, today we're going to be talking about food safety and hygiene.
Yes.
And we'll be breaking that down later on, probably to how, as a consumer, you can realize this food is contaminated.
Yeah.
And probably what are some of the principles of handling food safely. Because if you handle food in a safe way, then you are going to be healthy. Anytime you mishandle food, then you're likely to become sick.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, I would love to draw a little bit away from this conversation kidogo too. Now, of course, there's some news that have imetufikia.
Sure, we have to start from there.
Yes, you know, the very good president has said there's going to be a major crackdown on border operators. Of course, this is informed after yesterday's sad incidents.
Sure.
Just one day on the eve of International Women's Day.
Imagine.
But again, so the crackdown starts in Nairobi. Of course, Nairobi has, I would want to assume, more than 10,000 border operators. And of course, we're going to see, you know, if our border sector can at least behave moving forward. It's really sad what we saw yesterday, and it's called for action. I hope we're not going to politicize this conversation, because again, the dignity of ladies cannot be politicized. It's as simple as that. They are sisters, they are our mothers.
Yes.
Just imagine that was somebody next to you.
Yes.
How will it feel?
I don't even feel like talking about that.
That's something we cannot even defend.
It's very, very much frustrating.
Yeah.
But border people are good. They help us daily on operations. Those guys, the kind of money that passes through their hands in a day, trust me, is close to $1 billion.
Yeah, of course, they should be doing that.
You know, that means that they are very important sector in the growth of our economy. But I think at some point where they have reached, they need to be regulated. And that's why President Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, has ordered a crackdown, as you say, on all border operators across the country, saying that they must all be registered afresh.
Yes.
We want to know who is a genuine border and who is this probably who is just masquerading as a border.
Yeah.
So that we also ensure there is sanity in this sector. But these guys are good. Just do the correct thing. Respect humanity. I always say you need those people today and tomorrow.
Yeah, true.
You need a border to come to work. The
True.
border needs you to get, money for food and other stuff. So let us coexist well, and
Yes.
we also join in to condemn
Yes.
whatever happened. And earlier today, I think in the CBD, over 200 borders were arrested again.
Yes.
Just in a bid to ensure that there is sanity restored in the border sector.
Yes, and here so far they've paid 35,000 shillings each, you know, after that crackdown. And of course, it's a conversation we'll continue following. Even tomorrow it'll come maybe with another update as things go on. But today we want to talk about how to identify spoiled food.
Yes.
I love why the conversation has been from storage, trying to avoid food waste. And of course, at some point you might have a miss on the food that you've stored. But how exactly do you identify that it's spoiled or contaminated?
Okay.
So exactly that's the conversation we're going to have today.
Sure.
And we cannot emphasize the reason why you should not have contaminated food. A normal person should not have that.
Yeah, you need to have good food.
Yes.
And, at times we talk about food,
yes.
but food is important. Why is food important, by the way?
Well,
before even talk about how to identify that food is contaminated, because if you consume anything contaminated, it means you're going to affect your health, right? But why is food important?
Of course, that's I would say, well, I think it's as simple as it comes. Of course, good for your energy.
Very important.
As nutrients that are going to boost your immune system. Also are going to boost your body in terms of functions. If it has everything around food, different types of food come with different types of nutrients. And of course, where we're going now is once it's spoiled, what lacks.
Sure.
Exactly.
So food is good. You said it gives us energy. Like I saw before lunchtime, you're really suffering. So after getting food, you are now perfect. So food gives us energy.
I should move away from you.
To just ensure that we move on well every day, nutrients in the body. But also food. There's something very, very important about food when it comes to a social aspect.
Yes.
There's a way food unites people. I don't know if you know that.
Food is a basic need that I think, I saw this happen when to me examples of Marsabit sana, lakini let me give you this one again. So the day that we are done giving food to people of Marsabit, and sasa we are looking for, we were beat. Mazee, tulikuwa tumechoka. Unasikia unarudi kwa hiyo barabara for the next 12 hours tena off-road. Unafeel ni kama it's impossible, totally impossible. But then the funny thing is, even without a shower, to let out food too, and even without showering too, we were refreshing by the fact that
food ikaleta refreshment.
Yeah, ikaleta. Of course, it's a good boost, energy, mood booster somehow.
Boost the mood. Very, very true.
And because it brought many people together.
We take it for granted. It's until you lack the food that you realize that food is important.
It's true.
It's until you fall sick probably is when you realize that it's important to handle food safely. The hygiene around the handling of food is very, very key.
Yes.
And it's until again maybe you fall ill is when you realize that their foods once they're not just good for consumption, and we're going to be talking about contamination. But I was talking about the social aspect of food, whereby food unites people. Food brings people together. Imagine a wedding without food. One of the uniting factors by the way when people meet is food. There are people who go to weddings because they want to eat. There are people who attend burials because wanajua hapa nimeokoka, food, because of food. So food has a way of uniting people. But also at the same time, I was just thinking about food and friendships, and the emotional part of it, that you can express your feeling through food. How? Like giving out food, the way you guys went to Marsabit and you're able to give out food. That feeling that you're able to help out. When you come back, you feel satisfied. Eat not for the food. I don't know how else you'll have connected with the people of Marsabit.
It will be very hard because, food is the basic need for everybody. It's a leveling ground for everyone.
Sure.
Ingekuwa maybe, of course, in the middle of another campaign back to going to Marsabit, of course, we will advocate for sanitary pads and everything around there.
Sure.
But then, if it was less than food, I think we'll bring a smaller community compared to the large community that we did find. But again, you ladies have used food against...
How? Against who? Yeah,
to convince your guys.
To do what?
Of course, if you have something you wanna have, maybe for example, you wanna have some money.
Yeah.
And or maybe you wanna have, of course, something rolling.
To just say what you want to say.
So
how do we use food?
Everything a man can provide. Hey. Ukitaka, quote unquote, I don't know if it still happens nowadays because I don't know if it happens to me. Ukitaka kuguza mwanaume.
Yeah, stomach.
Stomach
a way into a man's heart, they say, is through the stomach.
Yes.
I don't know it still works, but I know nyima mwanaume food, my friend. Kuna vitu viwili katika hii dunia ukinyima mwanamume. Oh God. Please see me later, can you tell you? The first one is food.
Yes.
I'll tell you the other one in a different setup.
I'm sure my 18-year-old Gugu will answer the next one. So we go straight to the conversation today.
Yes.
How do you know that your food is spoiled? I want us to look into every product, because every product comes with different characteristics when it's spoiled. And I'll start with the one basic one that I ever told you. I don't know if you ever tried this one.
Sure.
That if your eggs are spoiled, just drop in a glass of water. If it sinks, well, iko sawa kabisa. If it floats, you're in for road shock.
So when your egg floats, it's spoiled.
It's spoiled.
If it sinks, it's okay.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the same analogy I always say kwamba if you want to know money is fake, they say kwamba you take uko na note hata hapo.
I think iko
demonstrate.
Iko kwa M-Pesa.
They always say kwamba if you want to know kwamba this note cannot is genuine. Eti ukikunja hivi eti ukiweka kama ni genuine, ukiweka chini they say ita open up. Yes. But if you finya and you put it on the ground, kama haitajifungua, it means kwamba it is fake. I don't know. So this one
that's really interesting.
But that is the case. Therefore, you're saying, for example, let's look at eggs. You have to know probably they are spoiled. You're saying just put water in a jar.
Yes.
Then get your egg and drop it. If it floats, it's spoiled. It's spoiled. But ikizama, it is okay. Perfect for use.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. This is I'm going to try it.
Yeah, you should
try it severally. You gave me that assignment, but it's been a while since I bought eggs, so I think I'm going to buy some today.
Yes.
I'm going to do exactly that.
Yes.
So the reason you're saying it's important for you to know whether your food is contaminated or not, it's for obvious reasons. Contaminated food will affect you. In as much as I hear there are people who say that tumbo yake inachukua kila kitu. I'll tell you for free, this one I've seen practically. This day I had a loaf of bread, nilikuwa na ile bread kubwa. And then you know the way you've done shopping and then ghafla unapata simu ya kazi and you have to run somewhere and then you think it's only a day or two. Then you take a whole week. You come back, the bread is spoiled. Probably uko umeka kwa fridge, blah blah. So unapata juli toka mbio mbio imeharibika. So you want to give out, I mean when you want to throw it, someone tells you hapana usitupe, hiyo si mbaya. So honestly ilikuwa na molds. Ilikuwa metantan green, imeanza hata kwa nyeusi. But trust you me, this guy grabbed that loaf of bread from my hand na akakula. And I really felt bad and I was really careful to find out what will have happened with him. But alikuwa sawa tu, mimi sikusikia kiumwa na tumbo. I don't know.
I've seen some people say that actually some health medical officers say that ukijipata umekula food na ija affect, it's affecting somewhere else. That it might hit you. More of it is even the nerve system. You might be destroying yourself pole pole bila kujua, because spoiled food means that the bacteria are doing, you're taking the bacteria into your stomach. So that's unajipata kuna watu wanakuwa na shida ya bacteria kwa tumbo. And maybe you're now increasing more. Pole pole tu unajipata, well, I hope it doesn't happen to him, but unajipata some of these chronic diseases start appearing because of what the bacteria do to your stomach. So don't be, even if you don't see the direct effect right there,
there may be long term.
There might be a long term effect.
Sure. I think that's a very important point. For you who say meat stomach yangu iko resistant, iko drought resistant. Ama sijui I can consume anything and not feel you know that there's a problem. You could have long term effects which are more dangerous. You know you're for the mtu mwenye anasema ai nikula food mbaya ama food poisoning it happen, wanaumwa na tumbo, then wanaishughulikia and it's done. As opposed to you ambaye you just okay going on normally na shughuli zako, then one day after many years you're told cancer and many other ailments. Things very sad,
of course.
So it's important to check out for spoiled food.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. So one more, I think this one is a very common one. Once your veggies start turning yellowish, they are losing it, the nutritional value and also the freshness.
Okay.
So, well, I would say more of it, and some even turn black.
Yes.
You know, they are now fully even decomposed. Zishaanza. Zishaanza are in the process. They're in the middle of decomposing actually. So if your veggies are turning yellowish, look for some others. Okay. And some even smell.
Yes. I was coming to the aspect of smell. There's some that will turn not very yellow. Zinaweza kuturn color kidogo. What I know is that the value of nutrition ndani yake, ama nutrients, goes down. But there are those who breast themselves and say, let me just cook, because they don't want to spoil the mboga. But I would still say that that's an indicator that your veggies are spoiled.
Yes.
You know, they're decaying. You're saying sometimes you start feeling or smelling, having a bad smell. You get into the house and you're wondering, hey, what happened here? Only to realize that your sukuma wiki that has been there for quite some time, and worse, inaweza kuwa it had come into contact with water, you know, smelling very, very bad. Yeah. Let me give you an example. Today, if you bought sukuma wiki, you see the way you go to the market, and then mama mboga na kukatia mboga, sukuma or spinach, and then nakuwekea kwa polythene, you know, they wash before wakate. If you go with that, with those veggies home, leave them kwa karatasi hivyo bila kutoa, trust me, by the time it's morning, they'll be smelling.
Actually, what do you do with those veggies after umemaliza na kununua? What happens? What should you do? How should you put them?
The ones you bought.
Zile zenye zishakatakatwa.
Now, this is what we've always said, and I think we'll be touching that a little later, that when you're handling your food, there are foods that must be washed before. Maybe they are cooked or they are eaten raw. You know, there are those foods that we eat raw. You know, some grains, and then we have fruits.
Yes.
Yeah, we have like cucumbers and the rest. You know, I look at it this way: that you've bought sukuma wiki from mama mboga, you've taken home. You realize you're not able to cook. What do? Remove it from the polythene bag and just put in an open place. Maybe get a basin or so in an open place. Let the veggies breathe. You know, in the morning you can still find kwamba they are okay. That's especially if you don't have a fridge or anything. You'll find they're still okay. But if you left them in that nylon bag, trust me, by the time it's morning, you'll want to throw them away.
So veggies do always want some air circulation, right?
Yes, they do.
And some dryness?
They do. In fact, yesterday we were talking about traditional ways of preserving food or storing food. And one of the ways I've seen our mothers do is you get veggies from the garden, it's evening, and you realize maybe those extra veggies, so you don't need to prepare these ones. And because they have no fridge, what they do, they take the veggies and you know, in shacks there's that stand ya kuweka vyombo, or they can take the veggies and just hang somewhere outside so that they get fresh air. So in the morning they pick them again, put into the house, and later they can be able to use when necessary. So your veggies need fresh air. They really do.
All right.
They really do, yes.
All right, now, one more thing.
Yes.
Canned foods.
Yes.
Beans, might be fish, tunyama too. Maybe one of the best ways to know that they're spoiled without hata kufungua ni dents.
Okay.
Dents kwa can. So what happens is that some of the acid that is produced wakati decomposing ama wakati zimeanza kuharibika inaanza kuchoma hiyo material. And also it's easy, you find iko na dents nyingi sana, and actually even to know that food yako imeharibika already ni kupata kama hata kuna tushimo hapo ndani. Kama iko na tushimo, jua iliingiza hewa na well,
wanyama walitembea pale.
It is what it is.
So it's not good.
Just toss it.
Yes. I think it's important, Brian, for our audience to take this seriously. That once food is spoiled, it's just spoiled. There's no second thought about it.
Yes.
You know, there's no second thought about it. I've heard people say that hakuna shida mimi, I just take the veggies and wash them. Sometimes you wash them, the smell haiwezi kuisha. You know, ama you take mwingine anasema ai mimi nitupe hii nyama bwana, they you saying I cannot throw this, it really cost me much. So they say let me wash and cook. Once the food is contaminated, it is dangerous. It's just you just do away with it.
Absolutely. And once you even look at meat when it's spoiled, apart from the smell, I'm also informed that inakuwaga na some darkishness.
ama some inataka kuwa green or something, you know, there's a way ina turn. Alafu inaweza kuwa at times sticky. Most of the foods by the spoil pia some zinakuwa sticky like grains. You see beans, yeah, una find ziko sticky. The beans, the minji, ama ukipenda yes, we've been talking about those minjis.
Yes.
Ama mostly grains. You realize that they are sticky. And then ukijaribu kuinua, if you see it's like inashikana. That already tells you that this is spoiled. Even if you prepared your arrowroots today, even if it's potatoes, you know, anytime you spoil, utakuta iko sticky. Sticky, kando na smell, you'll always notice it's sticky. So for some, they'll say, wacha nionje kwanza, nijue kama imespoil. Sasa hiyo kuonja si ndio kula jamani. Because once you onja, you know, si utaswallow, you've already eaten. You know, so
you're gonna do that, of course. And I also found out that ukitaka kujua minji yako yenye ulikuwa umeweka maybe kwa can ni spoiled ama nyama, it starts ama serious and a boiled cereals, it attracts so much ice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And within hapo nje hiyo can in attract even more ice. So it's spoiled somehow.
Okay.
I never knew, I never understood the science behind it, but it's one of those ways of knowing that it's spoiled.
Okay.
And above that now, ukiwa umetoa, ukienda kuingiza kwa kitu kimetoka, for example, kwa fridge, it doesn't smell so fast.
Sure.
Hadi uipike, uanze kufeel, so the best way kujua ni kama imeanza kutoa some sticky water. Ama yenyewe ina stick kwa mkono kidogo tu, some stick. Exactly. Now if you find your cereals are doing that, you hata usipatie mnyama, mwaga tu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, our viewer and our listener from wherever you're following us from.
Yes.
Maybe you uko maju, uko abroad outside the country, all over Africa, Asia, Europe.
Yes.
Here in Kenya, you know, probably Kajiado County or any other county following us, we are glad. Join the conversation. How do you know that your food is contaminated?
Yeah.
How do you know that your food is spoiled? You know, how do you know that? It's important for us to know the indicators. You can join the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can also be able to call in live so that we get your feedback. Later on, we'll be able to just talk about some of the things you need to look at when you're preparing your food, so that you are sure your food is safe for consumption.
Absolutely.
You know, and the hygiene that surrounds the issues of food preparation. Because, Brian, you can get, I don't know if you've ever go to a hotel, you wanted to eat, but you realize the environment, labda nzi wamejaa, you look at the table, you know, chai imemwagika, you know. For me, when I get to such a hotel, I will not eat. Trust me, I'll leave. Because it's something in you that you want good. You know, the food could be good, but even the environment that you're preparing the food is very, very important. You see,
it's an indicator of how things are inside.
Yes,
the
because if I see this place is just looking not organized, I'm likely to tell, hey, I don't know what is happening in the kitchen. Maybe wakati uko kitchen uko na homa na penga makamasi alafu unaendelea kushikashika fruits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things we talk about we not eat.
That's why we're talking about hygiene and food today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And of course, before we can take a short commercial break, we want to talk about Omnia.
Yes, I know you're very passionate about Omnia products. And now back to you, Brian. Just tell us a few of their products and maybe somebody just zafanya kazi namna gani, then you can take the first break.
Okay. So of course, I've seen Omnia products, of course, work for different farmers in very interesting ways. At a time where, for example, right now we have drought. You know, in many parts of the country, water is not enough for irrigation farmers. You need roots that are going to go a little bit deeper and are going to maximize on the uptake of nutrients in your soil. And of course, we have had products, for example, the Mega KLP that comes hand in hand with
is the K-Humate?
K-Humate also. K-Humate does such a good job about that. Of course, once your crops are stressed again by maybe the high amount of solar that you're receiving right now, the sunshine, I think the Mega KLP does such a good job also. And of course, we're going to where you have extreme cold, maybe at night, you need some good calcium to help your plant withstand the cold. Of course, that's where, of course, we talk about Folico 19.
Yes.
And of course, all these products were designed for the local farmers. Of course, at a time where the costs of fertilizers are expensive, and these soluble fertilizers come as something that enhances the little fertilizer that you can afford.
Yes.
So it does help the uptake of the little fertilizer in your tire.
Okay.
So that you don't have to wait until the kuna walisema hii season inakuja tutapanda na fertilizer. And you can buy one bag of fertilizer. You can just kidogo fertilizer kidogo, and then use some of these products which are going to help the crop absorb.
And it's important for you to know that you can get Omnia products at the nearest agrovet that's closer to you.
Yes.
If you realize that probably you're not getting what you want, you can visit their Facebook page, Omnia, just engage with them, or even reach out to us as AFarmersMedia. Tell us what are your concerns, and probably you need Omnia products. We'll be able to organize and ensure that you get that on time, because our work here is to ensure that as a farmer you are comfortable and you're farming for profits. This is Farm Drive at AFarmersMedia. My name is Dora Manya.
My name is Brian Manda.
We'll be taking a short break. Alafu tukirudi, then we have much more about issues food safety and hygiene.
Absolutely.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi. Kilimo cha kuhifadhi ni pamoja na kunyunyizia dawa za kuulia wadudu zilizopendekezwa na wataalamu wa kilimo. Unaweza kutumia trekta au njia ya mikono kufanya kilimo cha mahindi. Ni muhimu kuandaa ardhi mapema ya kutosha kuruhusu magugu kukauka na kuoza kabla ya kupanda.
A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained. Eggplant is an elongated shaped and dark purple fruit, and its leaves are large, ovate and slightly lobed. Eggplant is a perennial crop but grown commercially as annual. Eggplant grows best in well-drained sandy loam or loam soil. The soil pH should be between 5.8 and 6.5 for best growth. Eggplant requires a regular watering and steadily warm growing conditions.
Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. It is not only a source of food and income, but also creates employment opportunities for many people in the world. Over 1 billion people worldwide work in agriculture, generating 2.4 trillion for the global economy. The global impact of farming on the environment is revealed that 40% of the Earth's land is now given over to agriculture. Agricultural development is one of the most powerful tools to end extreme poverty, boost shared prosperity, and feed a projected 9.7 billion people by 2050. And we, the AFarmersMedia, roll the carpet for you as we welcome you to our thrilling farm visits to different farmers that educate and inspire you in different sectors in agriculture. Catch us also on our shows on all our social media platforms as we bring you educative and informative information that will help you learn and guide you on your agriculture journey to success. Our farmers attain knowledge and grow profits.
Papai ni moja ya tunda mashuhuri kwa kiasi kikubwa nchini Kenya. Pia tunda hili linaweza kuwa na faida mbali na afya katika kukuza uchumi wa mkulima wa zao hili. Pia linaweza kuwa chanzo kikubwa cha pesa za kigeni kwa kuuza nje ya nchi. Uzalishaji wa papai nchini Kenya ni kwa kiasi kidogo ukilinganishwa na mahitaji ya watumiaji. Hivyo inahitajika nguvu zaidi katika uzalishaji wa zao hili. Zao hili limeshamiri kote nchini kwa kutoa mavuno bora. Ungana nami niweze kufahamisha bayana na kwa undani kuhusu zao hili la paipai.
Welcome back to Farm Drive here at AFarmersMedia. I am your host, Dora Manya.
Your host, Brand Munda.
We are here to ensure that you farm for profits, having food in your pocket, not food. Okay, money, Dora and food. Money in your pocket, but more importantly, ensuring that you eat well, safe food. Of course, atukosagi vitu kwa handbag. You can be sure if you check our handbags as ladies, you must be finding something. You must find something small.
For real?
Something small. So anytime you're hungry, just talk to the ladies in this company. Tell them you're hungry. Trust me. Sasa kuna kitu nimeona umeingia hapa studio. Kwa nini ya kampuni ama kuna lady moja amekupatia hapa ndani? Unataka niseme?
Hii nao nisema without fear of ever in doubt.
Umepewa na nani? Sema tu umepewa na nani?
Ini ya Bazenga mmoja mzuri anaitwa James.
He's the only guy who does. Mwenzako akakupatia?
Of course anakuwa amepakiwa na guys.
Madam wako anakula vitu vile.
No guys, you know ikifikia mwanaume we don't care anymore. But ile kuchukua directly kutoka kwa noma.
So unakula, you don't know who was prepared.
Tutaki kujua bro. Bora tumeshiba. We never want to know and we okay with that.
Those are men, by the way. So this Farm Drive, please join the conversation talking about food safety and hygiene and how you can identify contaminated food, and just a few also be able to look at some safe food preparation just to ensure that you prepare food safely. You can start well and the end product inakuwa si vizuri. So the one or two things we'll be able to tell you about that, and keep on engaging us on social media. We'll also be giving you a call line so that you can be able to call in live If you have feedback, it's important that we know how do you store your food.
Yes.
And not even stop us saying, how do you notice that your food is contaminated? Do you just get home and you look at this and say, even hii imeka siku tatu imeharibika? Or there are indicators that this food is contaminated and therefore not safe for human consumption.
Yeah, of course, before we took a short commercial break, we were saying that frozen food attracts more frost. In short, ice.
Yes.
Inaleta more ice. So that's spoiled right there. Enda kwa freezer, kwa fridge. Ndio angalie kama kuna kakitu, kama kunako. Yes. Usikae ku waste gas ati unusie. It's high time you be part of the conversation of food waste.
So gas ni expect.
And when gas ni expect. I'm hearing even the prices might go even higher.
Yeah.
Because of the
I'm just wondering
so much
in the next 2 years kama life itakwenda tu hivyo graph food prices, commodities itakwenda ikipanda tu.
In the middle of COVID, quote unquote COVID recovery, economic recovery, and of course I don't know if there was a big rebound of the economies, because even oil itself, fuel, its prices are skyrocketing at a time where of course we have even debts we must pay. So of course there's more taxation, VAT, at a time where of course raw materials become getting extinct. You know, there's more politics in even the raw materials. Fertilizer, part of the reason as to why it's not even there, it's well, because of some of the politics, geopolitics katikati ya Ukraine and Russia.
It's an election year.
It's an election year.
No one really cares about a common mwananchi sometimes.
Really, true.
They just care about their interests
and
how we'll wake up and vote for them. But no one is really addressing real key issues that are affecting that voter.
I don't know when it will ever hit our leaders that the cost of living is high. I think, once you're earning your 200,000, 600,000, 1 million salary, you never know it's coming to you.
Sure.
It's coming for you again. I think until when you ujipate kwanza ulipandisha bei ya vitu sana, that even you yourself umeshtuka, imekuhit directly. And it's going to take some years, but I think in the coming elections, we need people who have come from, who understand how things are. Okay. Not just who are told, who understand how things are. Anyway, that's a conversation we're going to have sometime later.
Sure.
Potatoes. How to know potatoes are bad?
One, if they are cooked.
Can you guess? No. Zikiwa raw.
Kata hivi unapata katikati ndani imeoza, ama unapata it is turned the color from the inside. You just cut it, then you look at the color has changed, then you can tell it's spoiled.
One of the easiest way, even without hata kukata, ukiona imeturn green, chana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Potatoes. At some point they turn green.
Yeah.
Oh, Irish potatoes or
no
potatoes zote? I'm
talking about Irish.
Yes.
Not sweet. Irish.
By the times you buy and they have turned green, just from the market.
Actually,
they are green.
Unajua mbona ziko green? Kwa sababu ya kupigwa na jua. Ndio kitu ya kwanza.
Yeah,
wakati wa harvesting ilipigwa na jua. Ikifika kwa market ilipigwa na jua zaidi na.
But sometimes when you peel unakuta ndani iko sawa, ama?
Ndani iko sawa, lakini how about the taste?
Oh, I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
So nisiko na kierere ya kusema nimepeel tu iko tu sawa.
No. Wewe na yule jamaa mkate mtakuwa same WhatsApp group. So of course, today we continue learning about some of the foods that we're interacting with and how safe they are for you. But also talking about molds.
Hapo kwa molds very very important.
Yeah.
Most of the foods that spoil zitakuwa na molds.
Yeah, most of them. Wheat products and stuff. Have you ever experienced molds? Okay, nikushow witness. At what level? Did you experience some molds? Kwa mkate.
Sana kwa hapo kwa mkate sana.
More of the wheat products.
Yes.
They do
kwa mkate. Nimeona. Alafu pia I think kwa meat.
Yeah, even meat.
You come back and you're like, ina come in form of some green color kwa mbali.
Yeah,
of course. This one hapa. Ama inaweza kuonyesha ni zingine zinakaa whitish. I don't even know.
Yeah.
So that tells you kwamba I've had some some spoiled food.
Yeah, and you should not be a very happy person.
I'm not happy about it. Anytime food spoils in my house, it means I got a call to go to duty urgently, and I could not organize myself for anything. Yes, you know, when duty calls, and duty is duty bwana. You know, an askari who is been called to duty, kama alikuwa nakula, unaacha kila kitu hapo mezani. You know, sometimes kazi yetu iko hivyo. When duty calls, you just stand and you're there running towards looking for solutions.
But I tell you one thing that you need to know, that even when duty calls, always know why you're going to the duty. Where does it go back?
Why are you going for duty? See, wamekuita probably. If you're an askari, there must be some danger. Somewhere going to rescue a situation. If you're in such a kind of a profession like ours, probably you need to sit in for someone.
Of course.
You know.
And things like that.
Yes.
What happens later?
If you're a doc or a doctor.
When you're going back home, what happens?
In the evening?
Yeah.
When I go back, I find the food, the way I left everything, if I'm alone.
Yeah.
The way I left food, kama ilikuwa kwa meza, just open like that. Yes. I just find everything just like in a mess.
Of course, we also need to have a quality life, quality food, quality everything. And of course, even hata ukijituma, make sure that wezi kama ile tank yenye inaongeza maji huku na inatoa maji huku. You can have some quality life around there.
Yes. Hapo kwa quality food na quality life mwongea vizuri sana. Because you see, at times we forget ourselves. You work so hard. I've always been telling people about this group of guys who work so hard, but they cannot even treat themselves. You know, Monday to Friday throughout the month you are working, but you never even stop at a butcher at some given point and say, "Let me carry some kanyama home."
Yes.
Have you ever seen farmers who ndio wanafuga kuku, but even taking one chicken to slaughter and just enjoy good food at home is a problem?
You know.
So who do you work for?
I always say this, don't you wait for people to treat you better than you can treat yourself.
Thank you. Treat yourself first. Mshahara imeingia, si ndio? So umeshalipwa mshahara. Yes, and I know ulipitia mahali ukakula pork. That is okay. You're telling yourself najipiga kifua because you know I deserve this, nakula jasho yangu. You know, you don't need to suffer like, I mean, you work hard and work hard and work hard. If kapo sanza ku work smart and eat a part of kula vizuri tu.
Yes.
And you see something like meat, for example, you don't need 10, 20 pieces. I wish people knew that even a piece and soup, kwanza soup is very important kuliko hata nyama yenyewe. So kidogo tu and then you are good. So it's important to ensure that you eat quality food, as you're saying.
Absolutely.
Then live a quality life.
Yes. And there's one thing that you need to know about mods. The fact that if you find out that your bread has some mods, one of the best things to do is not assume that hata nikitoa kadogo
wacha nitoe juu hiyo chini ndio imespoil. The time I did that by the kasema acha nitoe juu alafu niweke siagi I eat.
Una covering for your crimes. Actually, they say that even if you don't see it, it's already in the process of kuharibika.
Yes.
So I'm not so sure, you know, I don't know, today I'm feeling like linking so much that we find out there with what we're having here, that it reaches a point where you're told that health is better than anything that you're ever doing.
Yeah. Your health is your wealth.
Your health is your wealth.
Treasure.
And health is that unifying factor. Rich, the poor, the tall, the short, and everything. And if you've no good health, either way, you're bad. And the amount of money you can spend, even with your richness, the amount of pain you can go through because of playing around with your health, with maybe, for example, taking some bad food and stuff. It's always ask yourself, is it worth it?
This is very right. You've had people, for example, I had a friend, and I think just ate some, what do you call this thing? Ile inakuanga mnono hivi inakaa nyoka inatengenezwa inaitwaje? Alafu nakata kidogo kidogo hivi.
The snail.
Hapana, wanachoma. Iko na harufu mzuri. The name is getting
Mutura.
Yeah. So this guy ate mutura. I'm not saying mutura is bad. I've never eaten, by the way. Probably you can introduce me to it. Sometimes napita hivi naangalia na tamani, but nasema I need someone to introduce me to eating mutura.
I think everybody needs a cut.
Please hold my hand and help you eat. Yes.
To be honest with you, I don't eat. Oh, okay. I think I had a bad experience.
Yes.
First time I ate it, I never went back. But I know people love it so much.
Talk to Kasunje or Mirara. I think one of them will just help me out. So this guy, I think, ate some mutura. Na ikawa iko na stones. I don't know what happened. This guy is it'll be the appendix yake ilikuwa affected.
You have to rework your appendix.
I am telling you, we almost lost this guy.
Yeah.
We almost lost him. You see. So when we talk about food safety, we are very serious here. You can lose your life. You've also had people talking about food poison. Food poison, by the way, is not someone getting poison put into your food.
Okay.
Ama kuchukua ratandata kuweka kwa food, then you start saying food poison.
Yeah,
absolutely. At times it's something that did not go well with your system, or food imekaa sana, wakachemsha tu akakuletea. There's something wrong with the food.
Yeah.
So when you hear about food poison, please, it's not about someone going to buy poison and put in your food. Yeah. It's just a problem with the food that you ate.
Yes.
Maybe imekuwa contaminated, it was handled. You never know.
Yes.
Let me give you an example, Brian. At times, tukitoka, yes, we always say that your veggies need to breathe. Usiache kabisa umefunika kabisa, especially the it's hot now. But also we need to be careful because at times when we leave our mbogas open, just exposed, ujui wakati ulikuwa job, mende zilipita ndani ya mapana. And you don't know where this cockroach was coming from.
Yeah.
So you see cockroaches, and cockroaches, hakuna cockroach inapenda mahali pasafi bana.
Yeah.
So we just need to be a little careful when we're talking about food.
Of course, even as we talk about food and its hygiene and health, we also want to talk about okay, these are the lovers of seafood. You know, there's a clique of people in town who love seafood. And of course, if your seafood smells like fish, just throw it away. Yep. If
your seafood smells like fish, throw it away.
Just throw it away.
But that means, therefore, you need to understand how foods, each of the food smells.
Yeah, of course, you need to understand.
You can tell, just you saying, if you're used to the smell, but this time round, it's totally different. There must be something wrong. You don't assume, right?
You don't assume. And actually, I think, even in everything that we're talking today, the basic concept is the sense of smell, the sense of taste, the sense of even sight. The basic things that were given by God.
Smell, taste, sight.
Just use them.
You see, and you just see corona molds.
Yeah.
It's spoiled.
Yeah.
You know, you get it's smelling bad. You can't even
feel. You can feel the texture.
Yes. You know, it's bad. Then you feel, you say it's slippery.
Yeah.
Then probably you taste like this. There's some of the foods that may not have a bad smell, but once you just taste, you feel like, no, this one, no. So don't assume and say I'm hungry, but
yes. Also the shellfish, the shellfish, kama imekufa, you're done. Just leave it.
Oh.
Yep. The shellfish, kama imekufa, just leave it.
Yeah, in short, what you're saying is, ulikumenda ku fish, alafu ukapata fish imekufa, ama?
Actually, it's more of the shellfish itself. The food itself, the shellfish. There's a type of there's a type of I wouldn't call it just food. Then there's a type of quote unquote organism. That is shellfish.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Shell.
Yeah, shellfish.
Shell.
Yes. So kama imekufa, bro, mali ulitoa utatoa nyingine kama hiyo tu.
Thank you for saying, bro.
Yes.
This farm driver, I am Dora Manya together with Brian Mwenda, just putting into perspective the whole issue of food safety and hygiene. How do you know that this food is not safe for consumption?
Yes.
In other words, how do you know that your food is contaminated? To avoid the problems, to avoid you being sick, being rushed to hospital. You work so hard, but all your money goes to hospital.
Yes.
How do you know all that? That's what we're discussing here at Farm Drive today. You can give us your feedback. You can use our call lines, Brian. You can use our call lines to be able to ensure that you interact with us, and that will be okay. But also on Facebook, we're there.
Yeah, on Facebook, of course, we're here at AFarmersMedia. On Facebook, and of course, as we said, on Twitter, AFarmers_. And of course, on Instagram, AFarmers with a Z.
Okay.
Now,
so
Dora, shellfish. I want to give you an example of shellfish, and I'm sure maybe you've ever seen. There's the crayfish, there's the crab, there's the oyster.
Sasa unajua nini sasa ndio ulikuwa umesema kwanza I go to different meanings. Lakini ni sawa tu.
Now you have it. Absolutely. These are crabs, of course.
Yes, sana coast ukienda huko you likely huko unapata kila aina samaki.
Yes, of course crayfish, and of course you're going to meet oysters and well.
Yes,
you around there.
Very important. You can call us
mnakulaga hizi vitu aje.
Hizo shellfish.
Man, the people love seafood and shellfish.
I should take you to the coast. Just are you ready to be tagged along this journey?
Depends on what I'm going to eat.
That whatever I eat is what you eat.
No. I'm sure, guys, sitaenda kukufa njaa huko kuku, so I'm happy with my small kakuku around na kanguruwe kangu. I'm very much okay with pork.
Talking of pork, you can call in live by the way. Unaweza tupigia simu 0700 29 30 31. That is 0700 29 30 31. A very simple number. You can call us, and of course go to Facebook. Pia unaweza kutuachia comment pale tuambie how this conversation is impacting you. Na pia if you have your own experiences, you can also be able to share with us, and I think we will be in good shape. Sasa,
yes,
we will be looking at something else just before we go for another break.
Yes.
I think,
yes,
and it will be important. Tuangalie unga. Because we're going to look at some of the basic principles of food preparation.
Yes.
And that food could be ugali. And therefore, when you talk about ugali, you need good unga. Okay, you need good flour that is certified, that is healthy for you and for your family. And we are talking about Kana flour. Okay, you can trust Kana to ensure that ugali ni tamu. You see,
you're so passionate about it.
When it comes to some things, but you don't. We don't atubahatishi. There's a photo I wanted to show them of the packaging of Kana, but ikombali kidogo. I did not share in advance with the directors there. But what we're saying, Kana iko nutrients that are good for you and for your family. Okay, all kinds of nutrients, even calcium unataka, even energy and carbohydrates. You know, all that is there in Kana flour, sindio? But more importantly, how do they source their maize?
Actually, it's really interesting because this is the unique selling point of this. It's the fact that they buy directly from farmers. Directly.
Yes.
So they don't use any brokers. Wanakuja kwako, wananunua unga kwako, wanaenda wana repackage, wanauza town. And maybe you need it, maybe ukiwa town, umeuza ukiwa ocha, ukanunua ukiwa town and something. It's something that you can say it's of our culture. It's in our culture.
Yes.
Having and promoting made in Kenya.
Yes. There you can see a screen.
Absolutely.
Look at the packaging, man.
Did you know about this packaging? Did you know it's an award-winning packaging?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Award-winning packaging.
And then you see, you can get your size depending on your pocket.
Yeah.
Unajua pocket yako wewe mwenyewe.
Yeah.
So if your budgets are saying you go for the small packet, go for it. If your budgets are saying you go for the bigger packet, you can go for it, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes I know it's not about your pocket in terms of pesa. Sometimes it's about your stomach. What does your stomach want? If your stomach inataka the big packet, just go for the big packet. Wacha kuumia, unaelewa just go for the big one. So Kana, you can get it kwa shelves. There are supermarkets that are closer to you.
Yes.
We will also want to know kama umetembea huko, did you get Kana flour or did you not get it, so that you're able to talk to them to ensure that you get Kana flour closer to you. So sir,
absolutely,
bring interesting times during food time ama ugali time with Kana maize flour, who source directly for maize from farmers.
Farmers
I
should
love
be
that.
very, very delighted about this.
Sure.
Yeah. Be happy about that. Go promote your own, because it's made for Kenya, by Kenyans for Kenya.
Very, very important.
Absolutely.
Right. To the break kwanza ama tuanze tuingie wengine.
Oh, you know, there's one important thing that we forgot to touch on. The milk. How do you know your milk is spoiled? Even way before you can warm it. Right there. If the milk is thicker than normal, okay, just do it away with it. Juu utatupa gas tu.
Oh, if it's thicker than normal.
If it's thicker than normal.
But they should also not confuse. You know, there are times unasikia hii ng'ombe anatoa maziwa nyepesi. Sijui kama umesikia story.
Oh yeah,
hii ng'ombe inatoa maziwa mzito.
Yeah.
You know, so the two should not be confused.
Of course.
So you know your ng'ombe very well.
Yeah.
The kind of milk can produce, the quality of milk, by the way.
Yes.
Of course. Milk production. The quality of milk iko produced na huyo ng'ombe.
Yes.
So usha kamua, the milk is there, alafu unakuja baadaye unakuta
unapata iko thick.
It's thicker than the usual.
Thicker than the normal.
Yes.
Ishaanza kuharibika ama ishaharibika hiyo. One more thing, of course, now kama uliamua let me try, maybe there's some opportunity of salvaging something, ukaekelea kwa gas yako. Mtu mzuri sana. Of course, it's a one-way traffic. You see, the milk is separating from water.
Yes. Another alternative, Brian, is this, that then I forgot to say yesterday, when you want to preserve milk, that's for another day. Sometimes kama utaki spoiler la kuna changanya na maji kidogo, but that's a different case. Hapa tunaongea kuhusu milk ambayo ina spoil.
Yeah.
This milk you want to know it's spoiled, kando na it being thicker than the usual that you used to. At times haitakuwa kuharibu gas pia. Just kidogo sana, just get a little, get a sieve, and then pour some little milk, very little. Milliliters kidogo sana kwa sufuria for 30 seconds, and then you'll know kama iko sawa mapana. As opposed to you come, this milk there that you left in the morning, you brought in milk this evening, alafu unachanganya zote kwa sufuria, and then now inakuwa double damage because you have lost. So the best at times, if you have a little patience that brand does not have, what you can do is mwaga kidogo kwa sufuria, just kidogo, sieve it kidogo, and then washa moto wako. Tukisema gas tuseme kuni inafanya. So you can kidogo tu 30 seconds. Kianza kuboil, notice kama kisha boil utaona hii ina work ama hii ime spoil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually also so that even the time that it takes to even boil, kuna hii sijui kani ukweli, you ladies should even tell us. I think you've interacted with milk more than we have done. Ukijaribu ku warm milk ikataya ku rise to the occasion.
Did you just say rising to the occasion?
Yes. So ikataya kupanda kabisa. Hiyo hata hiyo unapaswa kuanza kushuku kani maziwa.
Yeah. So milk must rise to the occasion. Yeah. That's a good one. So kichemsha milk and it's not rising to the occasion, just know there's a problem with that milk.
Yeah, just flag it off.
Because normal milk must rise to the occasion.
Yes.
Yani lazima.
Let's talk about even our carrots.
Yes.
Carrots wakati zimekuwa slim na mashi kidogo. Unakashika tu kanakaa tu uwezi kapil. Well, I'm sure your cows will do better than human beings can do.
Anyway, so at least you have a clue on some of the foods. We will be able to talk about many of them. To sample kidogo tu, but you have a clue. So that you don't walk blindly and eat food that is contaminated.
Yes,
okay?
Yeah.
It's dangerous for your health. Hata kama mfuko inakataa. Usiseme nitakula kwa sababu mfuko umekataa. It may cost you way beyond what you have ever thought in this life. Food, and some of us, our systems are very, very sensitive.
Yeah, true.
So usijiweke kwa system ya mtu ambaye amekwambia I just eat anything. Let me give you an example of someone who says, me I cannot take boiled water. There are people who say, boiled water, haina taste. Mimi nakunywa tu maji yote. Alafu wewe you used to taking boiled water. So don't stop taking boiled water and deciding to take water kama kawaida because your friend has no problem with it. Our immunity system is different, you see. And talking of water, you know, I once tried that, doing what other people are doing, and I know the impact.
Yeah.
I was staying in Nanyuki, and
you're staying in Nanyuki?
In Nanyuki pia. So extreme cold weather conditions, very, very cold.
Yeah.
And one of the rules those days was like, hata kama ni hoteli there must be warm water. And so tumeambiwa tusioge maji baridi. But again, there's a lady you used to stay with. This lady ilikuwa time ya kushawa, anatoka tu anaenda nafungua shawa maji baridi anaoga. So that was a trend. Mimi huko lazima niashe jiko so that nichemshe maji ya kuoga. And then one day I think gas ilikuwa imeisha. Okay, gas ilikuwa imeisha. Alafu pia makaa I think coincidentally ilikuwa kidogo inapika githeri, so tuseme pia makaa ilikuwa imeisha and it was raining outside. So I was like, me I can't wait. what I'm going to do is si so and so wanaoga maji baridi. Hata mimi alikuwa aitwa Jackie. Ambia Jackie sio niona saizi mimi nikajiambia Jackie woga maji baridi. So mimi na huyo kwa shower. Ria afunga maji baridi my friend. And he'll end up in hospital. So I was calling my bro telling Mama Noel when he came the first thing I do is ulioga maji baridi. So tukiwaambia msikie maneno. So you don't do things because other people are doing.
Yeah,
you know, you look at your immunity system and just learn to do things the correct way.
Yeah, true.
Yes, this is Farm Drive talking about issues of food safety and hygiene, and we've given you a sample of foods and how to tell that they are spoiled.
Yep.
And some of the things we've talked about are just basic for all foods.
Yeah, basic for all
molds, smell, you know, the taste, you know, the texture. It almost cuts across all the foods that we're talking about.
Yep.
So you can be able to use that to observe to know whether you are doing the correct thing, okay? Yeah. I feel that we should take a short break. When we come back, Brian, we should be able to talk about now some of the basic principles in food preparation.
Yeah.
What are you going to look at? You know, like the common one, I can tell you that before you even go for the break. When you're preparing your food, at times you're so ignorant about this, but the hygiene, the space there, I mean, cleanliness is something that's very, very key. You know, a clean environment. Like now, if I was to prepare you tea on this table, I think you'll love the tea because the table is clean.
Yeah, it's clean.
Right? So cleanliness of the environment, number one, but also number two, cleanliness of your hands. Before you start handling food, please ensure your hands are clean. Just ensure your hands are clean. Wacha kutoka kwa ofisi hapa Farmers, unafika kwa nyumba kuna ile bread ulikuwa umebakisha asubuhi, wewe tu ni kuweka laptop hapo kando, alafu tayari umeingia huko unatafuta siagi, ushaanza kushikashika ile mkate, you've not even washed your hands, you know. But
actually I'm sure that in an era where we have been taught hard lessons by COVID, I think more of those hand washing hygiene practices have reduced the number of infections that we have. But it's also a wake-up call to some of us who didn't used to do that even way before COVID. And even after COVID, we should embrace hygiene in our hands. Some have forgotten. That's now the bit of it that is frustrating. That we forget very, very fast. You know, umetoka pale, you're cooking in the kitchen, you've run into the toilet because you're pressed, you come back, continue cooking. You know, unakuja kukatakata tomato, katakata cabbage. You know, always ensure that your hands are clean. Those are just basic things that we're going to be looking at in the next session, and we'll also have very good information for you from Markup and Unido on safe use of pesticides. So keep it tuned on Farm Drive with me, Dora Manya. With me, Brian Monda also.
Tunarudi.
Agrovet shops are important outlets where farmers can easily get seeds, pesticides, and other farm inputs that are vital for successful crop and animal production.
Agrovets are very key to society because you find that the agrovet attendant is the closest person, is the closest expert that you have who can advise you on the product that you can use on what crop.
Agro dealers and their agents assist farmers in providing quality inputs. Here are some of the guidelines that appropriators should look out for before starting an agrovet business. Choose a location that is suitable and does not pose any undue risk to people and the environment.
When we are licensing the agrovets, we look at the physical structure of the facility, whereby the facility should be well ventilated, it should have enough space, should have shelves.
Business location is an essential factor to excel in agrovet business. Agrovets thrive well near agricultural farms. You need to consider the competition in the area. An appropriate agrovet shop has several qualities including accessibility to customers, security, adequate storage space, ventilation, adequate water supply. When starting your agrovet business, it is important to ensure you have a neat display that communicates reliability and credibility. Ensure you can distinguish between genuine suppliers seeking out accredited dealers to avoid buying counterfeit goods. Obtain a license from the requisite regulators such as the Pest Controls Board and display it prominently on the premises. To kick off a successful agrovet business, you will need to meet all the legal requirements.
If you want to get into this business of operating agrovet, the first thing that you should do is to get into our website, whereby you can get a form, an application that is a premises licensing form, whereby you can fill the form, or you can visit either of our region offices in Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, Mombasa, and Embu. Then you are required to attach your academic certificate, and you also attach, for you to be a licensed agrovet, you must have a license from the county government.
You will need a county business permit. This is the common permit that is needed for all businesses. If you intend to stock seeds, you will require licensing from the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, KEFIS.
KEFIS has come up with different measures to ensure that the produce that is placed in the market and also exported is meeting market requirement and also food safety standards. We analyze agrochemicals, that's now the pesticide formulations, to ensure that what's again being formulated and also sold in the Kenya market also meets the set specifications.
You will also need to commit yourself to not sell counterfeits by signing the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management through accreditation by the Agrochemicals Association of Kenya. Here, members follow the Code of Conduct on Pesticide Management, which the industry uses for self-regulation. Through the code, AAK encourages the best practices for agro-dealers, including responsible pesticide use and ethical business practice. Pesticides may pose risks to humans and the environment from manufacture to usage. One source of risk is during storage and handling at the point of supply to users. The pesticide should be stored under suitable conditions to maintain its physical and chemical properties until the end user receives it. Spillage could occur directly on persons handling them, contamination of food, or leakage into the environment during the various stages of transportation, loading, unloading, and storage. As a proprietor, you should prioritize the safety of your products. One way of doing this is through proper placement. Pesticides should not be placed directly on the ground or on areas prone to flooding. Floor spaces should be uncluttered in a way that permits easy inspection and to allow free flow of air. This also enables immediate cleanup in the events of any leakage or spills, which will be easily visible. Containers should be well arranged to minimize unnecessary handling and to avoid mechanical damage. As a general principle, systems of storage should be flexible and adaptable.
We have a curriculum that we train our farmers with, and it starts with encouraging them to adopt integrated pest management, which is basically giving them options that they can use apart from pesticides. Once they understand this, they are able to responsibly use the pesticides because they understand that they do not need to always resort to pesticides whenever they have an infestation on their farm.
Remember, proper usage of pesticides increases yields and market access for your produce. Food safety is everyone's responsibility, starting with the farmer. Dawa bora, mazao bora.
I'm just imagining kama ndani kuko hot hivi, what's happening outside?
But you have
How much the lights?
I think, well, it's normally hot this way.
No, today is different.
Today is a little bit different, right?
I did not listen to the weather forecast asubuhi, but Kinamasi must have told us that it will be this hot. Yeah, so it is hot here. I don't know in your county how the weather conditions, but the good thing about this music akisema that when it's too hot like this, then expect the rains are not far.
The rains are not far,
but so what iko too hot, ghafla binvuta sikia probably it could be raining anytime. So how is the weather huko kwenu? Mulipanda alafu mahindi kamea alafu mvua ikakata, you know,
zile hawks rains. Kuna zile ile mvua ilikuja sometime back.
Ilichapata Kitengela no jani mbali bwana. Just like 2 weeks bwana.
But even some 2 weeks ago. I actually knew.
But it looks like it hasn't rained for like a decade bwana.
Yeah, but well, let's hope that the next, actually the weatherman is predicting that from next week, next week is going to be rain.
The same weatherman vile sasa kumekuwa na break mvua alikuwa ametuambia kwamba kutakuwa na 3 months mvua itakuwa nyingi. So sijui kama kwa hizo 3 months they should be telling us kama hapa kidogo kutakuwa na jua kidogo afu endelea kunyesha ma ni kunyesha non stop. They should be telling us.
Actually well, we'll look into that, and I think we should come with an answer tomorrow and understand the weather patterns, and as we go forward. And of course, you are a farmer.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yes.
And of course, you've interacted with the pesticides. Of course, from buying to transportation to storage, and even the use it's used in the farm. Of course, today we want to talk about the specific storage. How do you store them?
Yes, how to store your pesticides.
Yes. First, keep pesticides in the original containers. This will help you identify which, for what, and also under what instructions.
Yes.
Of course, keep pesticides out of the reach of the children. Yeah, watoto wanapenda kuonja vitu bana.
Yes, bana. They can try pesticides bana.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can be disastrous.
Very disastrous.
Yes.
So ukikuja na pesticide usikae hata kuingia nayo kwa nyumba. Enda uweke tu mahali inapaswa kukaa. Of course, most of us have those places that pesticides inakaa peke yao. Of course, always keep pesticides containers tightly sealed and avoid spillage. Of course, spillage will lead to more contamination out there. Of course, also always know that of course, pesticides locked away and only accessible to authorized persons. Sana mtu mwenye anapaswa kuwa anaitumia, anajua maybe hii ukiguza ni mbaya, maybe hii ukinusa ni mbaya.
Yes, because the fact that pesticides are there doesn't mean anyone can just pick them and go spray.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
They should be used by authorized persons.
Yes. And of course, it's always good and advisable to label the storage area. Make sure that mali iko imejulikana hiyo ni storage area.
Storage, pesticides.
Sure. Pesticides. And by that, you're going to curb very many unwanted expenses of treating or even further damage.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow. Beautiful. Remember, that is a message that has been brought to you by Markup
absolutely.
And Unido on safe use of pesticides.
Yes.
That information is very vital for you. Please use this pesticides well in as far as storage is concerned.
Yes.
A message by Markup and Unido. So, sir, this Farm Drive at AFarmersMedia. My name is Dora Manya.
Yes, my name is Brian Monda.
And we want to, of course, get into our last session and be able just to look at. We're still talking about food and food safety and hygiene.
Yes.
We already told you how to identify that food is spoiled.
Yes.
Basically, the aspect of sight, the aspect of smell, the aspect of taste, and probably the aspect of touch.
Yes.
You can be able to tell if your food is spoiled or not. And because we're talking about food safety and hygiene, this is about food handling, by the way, also. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah, when we talk about hygiene, we're also looking at now how you handle your food. So, sir, remember we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can also give us your feedback on probably how you handle your food. And that is where hygiene comes in. I started by saying that ensure the environment is clean, ensure that your hands are clean every time that you want to get into the kitchen and prepare food. You know, someone once said some time back, you see, for those who are Christians, they believe in lazima uombe food and you cook. Now, many a times women test food in the kitchen. Sindio?
Yes.
And I don't think they remember to pray before they test. They only remember to pray when the food is brought to the table. Is it true? Yeah. So someone once told me, if you want to not feel guilty that you tested food without praying for it, when you get to the kitchen, the first thing is pray. And you pray for the food and tell God, I thank you for the food even as I prepare it. And even as we'll be eating it later, may the food be blessed.
Happy International Women's Day.
So with that now, it has you are mind conscious that, siniliombea food, sasa nikionja, there's no problem. You see, even with your hands, when you get to the kitchen, you have to ensure that your hands are clean because you're going to be handling food all through. Handling utensils, seafood peke, utensils,
yes.
Unaelewa, sometimes you want to test that food, you want to ensure that, to confirm kama the salt is enough, and you're putting it at the palm of your hand. I don't know if the men do that, but for us women, you scoop, put here, and you want to test if the salt is enough. Imagine your hands are not clean, alafu unaonja.
Nowadays tunaangaliaga tu boda hii nyama inaweza kuwa imemaliza alafu unaangalia teme yenye ulieka basi inapaswa kuwa imeisha. Unaweka tu kwa sahani na unaendelea kudish.
No, thank you. You bring me to another point because you've talked about meat. Okay? When you're talking about food hygiene as well and how you can handle your food, what you need to do also is to ensure that food is well cooked until inaiva. Please cook food thoroughly. And all the foods that I think people don't prepare well because they have no patience is nyama. I think you're one of them.
No, guys. I think I overcook my meat.
So you need to cook it thoroughly so that at least you'll be able to kill any microorganisms that of course may be present in that particular food. So ensure kama unapika meat vizuri. Unaelewa, imeiva vizuri. Take your time. At times hii story umefika kwa nyumba unaweka gas full blast, after 20 minutes nyama imeiva, ugali umeweka 10 minutes. Yani this guy got home within 30 minutes. The nyama is ready, the sukuma wiki is ready, and the sima is ready. Really? I don't know. I don't want to be a man, but sometimes I wonder whether you guys eat food that is. That means umetoka hapa AFarmers 5. You are in the house by 5:30. Unaelewa? So umefreshen up nini unataka kuingia kitchen sasa. So umevaa magwanda ya kitchen. Umeanza kupika tuseme 6. Nini by 6:30? By 6:30. Ama 6:28. Ama 6:30. Ati nyama imeiva, ugali umeiva. Alafu pia kama kuna greens zimeshaiva. How do you do it? Please help me understand.
But you know with the advancement of technology nowadays.
What kind of technology are you talking about?
Of twisting your gas your gas inaitwaje bana.
Unless you're using zile sufuria za tunazitanga pressure cooker za maji. Zile sufuria tunakuwa nazo home yenye naweza pika githeri within 4 hours and my githeri is ready. The sufurias that are modern now. The name is just getting lost.
I
have one in the several in the house. There's a way
not one.
Zimetengezwa. Alafu ukishaweka your ingredients pale unafunga tightly kabisa. Alafu naweka kwa moto. In fact 4 hours mekupatia mingi. You can eat your githeri within 2 hours.
Lakini 2 hours. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, so unless you're using that kind of technology you're talking about, you can then be able to have your meat ready in 10 minutes. Lakini umeenda tu kwa sufuria. Please cook food thoroughly. Ensure that your food is ready.
Actually,
especially meat. Matumbo, I don't know.
Now I've seen this grill, double grill, yenye unafanya maneno within a record time kabla ya our very own Manyara maliza kukimbia. Ushamaliza kukula, si kupika. Don't get it twisted.
So yeah, within seconds.
Well, more of it you're going to take less than 30 minutes to cook your meat.
Yes.
And it does do so well, but of course I'm here to talk about the meat itself, the health of the meat.
Yes.
And it's only said.
When I touch meat and Brian will feel like, so ensure that your meat is well prepared.
Yes.
Not just meat. Prepare food, iive bila inafaa kuiva. And I know as we prepare these foods, let's look at what food are you preparing. There are those that are supposed to kuiva vizuri kabisa, ikuwe soft, yani hizo microorganisms zimekufa vizuri kama nyama. But also look at greens. Then how do you also prepare your greens or your veggies? Do you now cook until zimekuwa brown kama ile ukuta yetu ya huko hapa farmers? So hiyo pia ni hiyo pia hujapika vizuri. Wewe na mtu ambaye amepika nyama 10 minutes are just the same. Iwapo sukuma utakuja kupika 20 minutes. Overcooking. It's also I will say you are not doing justice to food, you know. So when you're preparing your food, yes, we're talking about handling the food. We've talked about quality food here, but ensure that your food that you prepare is not undercooked or overcooked. Ipikwe vile inafaa kupikwa, chakula kiweze kufanya namna gani kikaweze kuiva.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes.
I know I've gotten somebody to ask. I think
ask me today.
Carrots zikiwa zimeiva. Okay, zikiwa sawa. Si zimeiva, zikiwa sawa. Ready to eat. Zinakuwa crunchy ama ni wakati tu ziko soft?
Now, I think carrots wakati unakula zikiwa mbichi ni crunchy. Lakini ukipika ni tofauti, taste ina change. If you ask me, I'm not a fan of cooked carrot. I find it a waste.
Unapenda tu
mimi napenda carrot kwa shamba nipike hivyo last hivyo ni grate your carrot na ikiwa mbichi hivyo labda niweke nitengeze salad or probably niweke kwa rice ikiwa vile mbichi, you know. Just grate it vizuri and then your rice is ready and then just mix together ikiwa hivyo mbichi, you know. Last hivyo if you want to labda cook, for me I still prefer it grated then put in rice. But hii tunakata slice alafu naweka kwa nyama kidogo ama unapata umepika nayo githeri, unapata githeri amekuwekea waru and then amekuwekea carrot. I'm not a fan of cooked carrot. Me, I'll go for the one that is raw. I think I want to do research and see the nutrition value in carrot. Do you maintain it and eat it oil raw or we really have to cook the carrot?
Okay, that's interesting because in our show we always talk about value addition.
Sure.
It's always good that you know, it's not even at home peke that you una handle food in the right way. Even if you decide to, you know, extend your services, you're thinking of extending the services of for example taking food from your farm, now of course directly adding value by selling it, by cooking and of course selling it. So these are some of the basics you need to know.
Very, very important.
Handling food.
Yes, how do you handle your food there?
Fish.
And kila kitu tu. Yes.
How do you handle fish?
Fish, what type of fish?
Okay guys, we also have type. Okay, let's talk about the basic one yenye iko kwa barabara.
Yenye wamefry
tilapia,
ama yenye wameboil ama yenye wamesmoke.
Fish boiliwa?
Vizuri sana. There's boiled fish.
Why boiled fish?
Just say you have boiled meat. Do you boil meat? Si kuna boiled meat, kuna ile inakula boil. Maana boil, ndio? That when you go and you sit there in a hotel and you it's just boil and salt kidogo. And then you eat and take the soup.
No, it's
so
like boiling
for
pork.
Fishmen, Brand doesn't know kuna boiled fish. Can someone help him please?
Boiled fish? How do you boil fish?
Vizuri sana.
Huyu jamaa ameishi kwa maji, unamrudisha kwa maji. Why? Mbona ulikuwa unamtoa kwa maji? But again, I think I do love the taste of fried fish. I won't lie to you.
Me, I love the taste of smoked fish.
Smoked. That's smoking hot right there. But of course, once we talk about fish, I would love to know how to handle fish. After amekuwa harvested, ama after ametolewa kwa maji, what do you do next?
Okay. This is a topic that we need to look into.
Yes.
Not now, later, right?
Okay. We can touch a little bit.
Ukitoka kwa maji.
After umetoka kwa maji.
Na sasa inategemea destination gani, kwa tumbo ama kwa market?
Wacha tuseme hii tunapelekea market. Yeah.
Okay.
So of course pia tunaweza angalia tumbo kwa sababu at the end of the day we end consumers. So basically we went to Lake Turkana and the people there are hungry for some reason or another, so we took food there. But then coming back, we came back with an empty lorry. But then these people have one of the best fish, tasty, so good. And my question was, what's the cost of taking care of the whole logistic of having even a half full lorry of fish coming back here. Because again, one of the biggest hurdles of fish, of your process of fish, maybe kutoka mahali kama huko hadi Nairobi, it's logistics. You know, forget about the market, it's the logistics. And if you're going to spend about 14 hours on rough road, I'm sure itaribika pia. But I would love to know how do you handle fish after fishing it? Of course.
So we'll have a discussion on that tomorrow. Remind me. We'll start there. Alternatively, we can look at fish farming or harvesting.
Yes.
But that's a topic that is wide, and I think it's also important because if you don't handle it well, it goes out immediately. So you'll wonder how guys manage to transport fish from Lake Turkana to Nairobi, and the fish in the Kobe fresh.
And you know the funny thing is, some time back I used to see gari PSV zimeweka fish hapo mbele,
zinapigwa na hewa,
zinapigwa na hewa.
Hata si sometimes but hata sizo ukisafiri when you are somewhere around Naivasha, and you meet those guys with fish pale kando ya barabara, they are selling very big ingine mud fish, zile zinakazi na pembe,
they are really mad,
hizo so you will see them na mwenye gari akinunua anazihang pale mbele. For me, I will think the reason zinahangiwa pale mbele, because I've never bought along the way as I travel, but I think the reason zinahangiwa pale mbele is zipate fresh air. Hauna fridge kwa gari, you've just made this guy and you want this fish. And fish inataka fresh air. Inataka fresh air ile serious. Okay. Fish ni baadhi zile foods tulisema, where do you store them in the fridge?
Of course, we talk about storing them just slightly below the freezer.
The freezer, yes. The temperature, cool temperatures. So they hang it there so that inapigwa na upepo, natural upepo, so that when you get to your destination, the fish is still fresh and it's not smelling. Na pia naturally nakaushwa na jua. You know, yes, so that you're able to drop the waters and ile water moisture content kutoka kwa ile fish. So wakati umehang hapo kienda inapigwa na jua, lakini pia ile upepo inapatia fresh air. Then when you get to your destination, you realize that bado uko fish wako iko sawa kabisa.
Okay, either way anakuwa ameenda.
Lakini by the time unauziwa si anakuwa kama maliza ama kwa guy. Kwa guy ameenda. Anyway, we continue the conversation on food safety and hygiene and how, of course, to identify that your food is not good for human consumption. And we also basically are talking about some of these basic principles when you're handling your food, because that's where hygiene comes in. We've said that your surfaces are supposed to be very, very clean. But again, Brian, that something very, very important here is that how do you handle raw food, for example? It's important to ensure that those foods that are supposed to be eaten raw are washed first before you eat them. For example, hapa nyuma tuko na cucumber.
Yeah, tuko na cucumber, tuko na squash.
You really love squash, eh? It will be very wrong for you to get those cucumbers from the farm, then just get home because you're very hungry and start eating them.
Yeah.
All foods that are eaten raw must be washed very, very thoroughly. The skuma wiki that we have in the farm, the spinach, wash them thoroughly. Yes. Of course, for skuma and spinach, I know you'll cook. Yeah. But if you look at things like we've talked about familiar, cucumber, and the rest, like fruits and sana that are supposed to be eaten raw. You know, even cabbage is eaten raw at times. You know, you can eat raw cabbage, especially when you prepare salad. Not all cabbage is cooked. You must have eaten raw cabbage. Yeah. Wakati unaenda kutafuta chips kuku hapa na nakuletea salad.
Inakuanga raw cabbage.
Thank you.
Vinegar, weko vinegar.
Inategemea hoteli umeenda. Zingine ni cabbage tu anakuwekea hapo, you know.
Hey, una tu feed ka sawa tu.
So those raw foods must be washed, like tomatoes as well.
Okay.
Do you eat raw tomatoes? I love them.
Raw tomatoes?
Yes.
I was told they're good for the
lakini raw yenye imeiva. Siko unaelewa. Raw yenye haijapikwa.
Yeah. Of course, I was told it's good for the health of the mouth.
Unajua ni pati yako wewe ndio unafanyanga hiyo research vizuri. Tuambie benefits of eating raw tomatoes. Maybe I eat them frequently, and sana mimi uchanganya na cucumber. If you've never known the beauty, I want you to try.
There's a beauty with this
cucumber na raw tomatoes. My goodness. Just slice vizuri na kasalt kwa mbali, and then you're good to go. Alternatively, the cucumbers, you can use cucumber peke yake na unaweka lemon juice kidogo, una sprinkle kidogo na kachumvi kwa mbali ama without chumvi, then you are good to go. You see? So tomatoes.
Oh,
why you shop?
That's interesting. I never knew that tomatoes can be okay. Zinaweza nini na cucumbers, they can be blended in.
Can I bring tomatoes tomorrow? We have cucumbers. See, kusema tuna tunachuniwa.
Oh yeah.
I come with tomatoes. We get cucumbers from the farm. Alafu tuweke hapo. Tutakuwa tumemaliza lunch. Unaona kama hiyo saa 4 unasikia kama unaweza kubiti.
No, guys, don't mess with my nutritional value, guys. But I think I will appreciate that so much and see different things, new stuff.
Yes. So I think basically we cannot finish this. Those are just basics of hygiene. How do you handle your food all around? Whether you're taking it to the market or you're doing it at home. For example, unaona kitu kama milk. If you don't handle milk properly, by the time it gets to the market, it's spoiled.
Yeah.
You know, and the handling of the milk properly, one is when you talk about you ensuring that you clean those containers well.
Yes.
Whatever you use for milk, that they are well cleaned. Last evil, you put your milk tomorrow, and then you say joto ilikuwa mingi, yet you did not wash your container well.
Yeah.
You know, so ensuring that all that is put into place, you can be sure that you will have healthy food, you'll have good food, the hygiene around will be good, then we'll be able to minimize the number of infections that you're talking about, and you'll not be able to run to hospital every time. So handle food with hygiene. And some of these common basics, especially for us women. Okay, let me not even talk about the women. You've gone to big hotels, right? I don't want to mention them.
Okay.
3-star, 5-star. How are those guys normally dressed?
Of course they have their right attire.
Like?
Okay,
describe.
Kichwa iko na some I will just call it cap,
kinda.
Kofia. Of course, nowadays I don't remember the nilitafuta.
Uko nayo?
Kanini kakurap.
Apron.
Apron.
At times they have gloves.
Yeah, absolutely. Even in supermarkets I've seen them do that.
And those working in the bakery will have gumboots.
Yeah. Okay. Why do they have gumboots?
It's just the same as why do you cover your head then? You bought a kofia the other day.
But then uzuri wa kofia ni ita make sure that nywele inguki kwa food. Ama sweat ama kitu kama maybe. Okay. What are the gumboots for?
So we are saying, can I use the word protective gear? See, protective gear. What are you protecting anyway? It's just good to be careful. They're using, for example, covering your head. It's bad manners that you prepare food unapeleka kwa meza. The first thing when you start eating your lentils, you realize kwamba nywele inatoka pale. So especially for us women, tunajikuta sana kwa hiyo. You get home, you're tired, you just shower, and then you get to the kitchen and your head is not covered, you know. So unaweza contaminate food na nywele, ama nywele yako pia iko na, let me say, dandruffs, ama unga. You see unga kwa nywele wanawake. The reason I call it unga is unagusa tu hivi na mwagika mingi because, you know, that is dirt. You know, that is dirt that can contaminate
dirt,
food.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
That is that inakuja kwa sababu nyingi. Inaweza pia kwa sababu ya dry skull na vitu zingine mbali, you know.
Might be dark skin, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just ensure that you take care of yourself. If you ever go to the airport, for example, for those who are dealing with the export market, na umeenda mnapack zile marago, you'll see those ladies are dressed and those guys. Like kama ni gumboots wamevalia, also to protect their feet. At times because hizo marago zimetoka kwa freezer, they're very, very cold. So stepping on them on bare feet, is dangerous and harmful to your health. The pneumonia aspect and all that.
And also, you know, I think they should be disinfecting those gumboots.
Yes, exactly. They do. They do. You know, the reason for that, notakuta, they're only used pale ndani. They don't go out with them. Have you ever been to a theater? Hospitali?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, I've been there twice.
You took someone?
No, I took myself.
Okay. You'll notice in a theater, what happens? Those guys,
they have a full attire. No compromising. Viatu wanakuagana to I think wakona zile vitu zenye watatumia ndani si zenye watatoka nazo.
Exactly. So you leave your shoes very far.
Yeah.
And then kuna level fulani you cannot go not any other person can go beyond that. You see. And then uko na labda kuna sandals or something. Because when avoid contamination na kuja into contact na patient. Anything small can just tamper with the life of the patient, because ukiwa theater then your life is critical there. Yeah. So as you also handle food, what you're saying is just check to ensure that you protect yourself well.
Okay.
And when you sneeze, ensure that you cover your mouth,
Yes.
you know. And when you're cooking and you have homa, anytime you touch your handkerchief, go wash your hands. The basic things, wash your hands with soap, kutoka loo. I think it will be good for us to ensure that hygiene is maintained.
Okay.
Tumesonga sana, so we're almost coming to a close. But the basic thing we're talking about here is ensuring that you eat healthy. Your environment of preparing food is hygienic. Unaelewa? Nisikuja alafu umerusha socks pale hivyo karibu na sufuria and the socks is smelling, you know, ama you're using your socks to wipe the table mahali unapikia. We, please, let's just maintain.
Somebody told me that milk is the cleanest thing that you should ever handle in terms of at a substance. Ama vitu zenye ziko karibu.
Why milk?
I think milk is easily spoiled. At one drop of maybe oil inaweza fanya maziwa ianze kuharibika. So milk is from milking, the process of milking. Of course unapata ng'ombe inakamuliwa, inaoshwa hapo chini kabisa anda yake.
Yes.
And then of course
my mom is very strict.
Yeah, very.
Wakati milk lazima ushe mkono, ama kama ni unafanya wash your hands vizuri. Then wash ada. Inaitwa ada. Ng'ombe vizuri. And then now do the necessary, the cup, whatever you're going to use in the process.
Of course, after that, even the storage is very critical. You see even the stuff that, the containers that are used to store the milk, very clean. You see view up here. There's so much. Even the people who even buy it from when you're on transport, now even when you're on a handle plant.
Sure.
They have special gumboots for what they do. And more of it is because milk can bring infections really easy.
Yes.
Really fast.
Sure.
So pia ujo ukienda kukamua unaweza cheza na unaweza chia ng'ombe infections. So it's always good to clean up your hands and usilete shida kama mastitis and stuff around there.
Yes.
Yep.
Mr. Farmer. Almost coming to a close here as we prepare to get the farmer's proverb. Kama kawa, Brian, I'll take through. This is Farm Drive on Amata Farmers Media. Na tumesalia na a few minutes tukimalizia to talking about food safety and handling procedures and hygiene, how to identify spoiled food and all that. That's what we've been we hope you've learned something. These things zinaka basic lakini cheza nazo zitakuhaunt tu, zitakusumbua tu.
I must say that there's something that nimekumbuka about ng'ombe medu. Ng'ombe wa maskini hazai mapacha.
Ebu put it in this context, ng'ombe wa maskini hazai mapacha ama hazai tu?
Hazai pacha. Shida.
Maskini ni mbaya ba? Ama what does the proverb mean? Meaning maskini mbaya.
I think you should never be so proud about your poverty. And nobody should ever tell you that, afadhali venye ulipitia kwa shida. Don't you ever glorify problems.
In fact, we need to talk about poverty in one of our shows.
Yep, poverty. And of course, we go straight to the proverb of the day. Here it goes. Of course, we're going to emphasize on what we did say yesterday.
Yes, I'm allowed to emphasize.
Yes, I think
there's a big possibility that it will impact sana.
I think it will impact. If there is no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Of course, as I said, vita za ndani ni mbaya zaidi ya vita za nje. Yep, it's as simple as that. And I don't know even how to say it even more.
At times, even the people you trust so much could be the ones that actually harm you without you knowing.
Absolutely,
you know? And if you use a family setup, in a family, if you guys are united, you people are friends. You know, you can be brothers and sisters, but you're not friends.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah, if you guys are united, you know, this simply means that when there are problems, you people can be able to overcome together. You become strong together, you know. So if there's Katienu, there's no one who is actually fighting you guys from the inside because of the unity that you have. Whatever comes from the outside, definitely be able to overcome.
Can always handle it as a union.
Yes. So it's important to ensure that you are in good terms, even not just as family but in different aspects.
Yes.
Yeah, the enemy within ni mbaya sana kuliko ule. Juu huyu ndani anajua secrets zote. Huyu ndani anajua this one, huyu akilala give him 5 minutes and start snoring. So this is the same enemy who will finish you within seconds.
Yes.
Not the person from outside. Because the person from outside will need to learn you, take time to study your moves and here and there. But this one that you stay with, this one knows who you this is the button to press and you finished him.
Yes.
So you should be scared more of the enemy within.
Yes.
More than the enemy without.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'd love to take a conversation. How to know spoiled food. It's something that we have all interacted with at different levels. And of course, hata leo ukienda nyumbani ukienda kupika, I'm sure you're gonna want to know, is it doing good? Iko katikati ya kuharibika na kukua sawa?
Yes.
Ama
yes, and as
ushamalizana.
Muhimu na tunapomalizia pia, I've just remembered about juice. Juice, you know, unaweza kunywa juice jana, alafu ukabakisha. When you go today, ukitest juice, kama it's not testing kama jana, there's a likelihood ushaanza kuspoil. Let me give you an example. Today, if you opened easy juice unanunua kwa supermarket ama kwa duka, okay? If you opened na ukakunywa, and then now you cannot finish it, then ukata nayo pale, give it another 2 days, you test it, it's testing different. Hata kama iko imefika expiry date, ina test tofauti sana, just to tell you kwamba imespoil.
So the freshness of something is always as good as the day it was manufactured. So even as you go and buy stuff, the call to action today will be always ensure that the fresher it is, the better for you. The lesser the food waste, and even the less the money you're going to spend on rebuying.
Yes.
And quote unquote repurposing.
Okay. Repurposing. And also avoid mixing food that is cooked and that which is raw. I think that can also help you so much to ensure that the other food is not spoiled fast. So this food is cooked, this one is raw. Avoid mixing the two.
Yes.
Yeah, vile tulisema hata kama niko fridge unapanga hapa zile raw, hapa ni zile
zenye zimepikwa,
inakuwa iko sawa, sio? I think we need to come to a close.
Yes, we need to come to a close.
Today when you go home, ensure that you cook your meat thoroughly. I cannot forget to emphasize that.
I'm thinking of
kidogo mdaza kulia
I'm thinking of some serious meat.
Vitu kama matumbo, please wash your matumbo well. I'm a fan of matumbo. Please wash your matumbo well. And then cook hivi isifike mahali tunaanza kusikia cysts. Yes. So wash your food well.
It's interesting.
Cook your food thoroughly. Don't overcook. Just ensure that you maintain the normal, temperatures.
Yes.
But as we also close, if you're supposed to warm food, we said that ensure that you don't just warm it because ishike joto kidogo then unatoa. Just chemsha kabisa.
Frozen food should always be warmed.
Handle it vizuri in terms of kuchemsha until inachemka. Not kuiweka. Do you say I want to warm my food?
Boil. Karibu boil.
Exactly. Bado kiachia pale katikati ita spoil and that will be food wastage. And I think for us at the farmers we're saying no more
food waste.
Yeah,
absolutely. So as we come to the end of the show, I would love to thank you for bringing up this topic, and of course we've done some research on it, and of course some experience on it, and also tomorrow we come with a new proverb of the day, because all these proverbs always keep me so waiting for the next conversation.
Yes.
So until tomorrow same time, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Dora, what do you say?
I don't have anything to say.
You don't have anything to say.
See you tomorrow.
As we say, no more food waste, and this ensures that you can save the best that you can save out of your production cost.
Yes,
and
sure.
More profits. So until tomorrow, we say have a good night and see you tomorrow.
Enjoy.